we know who dies this 40th anniversary, but do you know who dies this 40th anniversary? Well, we're here to predict it, because why not? We're just here to predict things because we are silly buggers from the internet, and you enjoy this content apparently. So,
Do we have any huge, massive storyline theories? Are we plotting the next 9 months of EastEnders? No, we're looking at a picture and deciding who dies. Oh, it's a good day to be us, because we are hacks essentially. But I mean, EastEnders, they released this really big image with all the fire and the brimstone and all the cast. They all look a bit stern, you know. Clearly just told, all right, lads, be upset. Everybody's miserable in this, which is kind of funny, but also not at the same time. So let me describe this picture for you.
Oh.
So,
I pulled it up. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, Cindy, I want to say front and center. Look, there are 4 or 5 main avenues to this picture. You have Cindy kind of in the middle, obviously, who is the Walford Whacker, which is an absolute gold name. It's absolutely fantastic how stupid it feels at this point. Phil to the left, with a slight emphasis on Stacey, Martin, and Ruby, all the way further on the left. Then to the right, you have Denise, a part of the love triangle, the fan vote for the 40th. Who's she gonna be with, Jack or Ravi? Then you have Billy, who's there for reason. I know that Honey and Billy are getting married, and it's supposed to be the big legacy wedding. It's supposed to be that, but they've not exactly had the biggest shine heading up to the 40th. Let's be honest. They've just been trundling along, and then finally on the end, you have Bianca, Reece, and Sonia, all of whom are in the firing line. Reece has already suggested Bianca take some pills and do something. And, well, I can already say this now, the cracks are starting to form. Sonia's started to notice that something's a little bit dodgy. Especially because a certain Reece, he brought the dollhouse home. He put it in the nursery. What are you doing, man? What are you doing, you idiot? Silly Reece. Bloody idiot. So, we expect that someone's going to die, and that person could be a legacy character, but it's not been explicitly said. And the current theory on the street goes that it's Martin Fowler. He is the original East End baby, initially brought up, and he was in Pauline's belly as of the first episode of EastEnders, born, roughly 9 months after the anniversary, and is his 40th this year?
Yeah,
it's his 40th this year, of course. It's stupid. It's his 40th this year. Obviously, his links to the Fowlers and the Beals, the original knit family, the family that the Knights and the Beals kind of take a lot of inspiration from, are knitted in the history, and Martin is one of the aspects where there's a lot of history there. We're not really thinking about Sharon's past and how much Sharon has ties to the square, because fundamentally Martin's heritage was Arthur, Pauline, Lou Beale, Michelle, all these characters very knitted in to the show. So that's kind of been a big focus. That's where a lot of the fan service has been for. We mentioned Arthur. Someone pulled up the clip of Arthur on a game show, which I assume just happened in the EastEnders, but it's still a wild clip, and it's still funny because you have Arthur there, then you have Pauline in the crowd, oh Christ. It's great. It's good classic EastEnders. And out of all the people currently in the class, in this generation, he is kind of the perfect candidate to bridge the gaps, even if fundamentally he's not even the first Martin or the second. He's not even the original Martin Fowler. But still, with 3 of his baby mamas set to depart the show, with Sonia leaving, having quit last summer, Stacey on maternity leave because she's having a baby, and Ruby, who joined back into the show and said maybe it's time to tie up some loose ends. So that's why a lot of people think that Martin is going to be the dead body in the Queen thing. No, Martin's going to die this 40th. What do you reckon?
Jonathan Williams, you've been protecting it for the past 2 years.
Or chicken nugget lover or something.
Oh yeah, chicken nugget lover. You can't really say that one fast, or you get bloody cancelled. But I'll just refer to him as Jonathan Williams. I was just a dead name him, but you can't really.
Come on,
because his name's like anyways.
Not important.
But Martin is the dead body. I don't know if I want it to be Martin, but my prediction is we've seen the images for next week where Bianca is freed from the lockup, which I don't know how it goes about it. That's my one query where I'm looking at it like, is how does she get freed, and how does Reece sort of skirm his way around? Because is it where she gets freed and then Reece just buggers off and then comes back to try and steal the baby or the dollhouse or something, and then basically
absolutely no way,
and they basically crashed into Queen Vic? And because the fire, I've read rumours, and by read rumours, I've read your comments saying that like Phil might start the fire. I do want to say, right,
definitely not. That bit's not happening.
I do want to say, right, I looked at the spoiler images for next week, like the preview images. Bloody Grant! I'm loving Ross Kemp's look of Grant now, because if you zoom in, because obviously that the high definition cameras, because it's the 40th. You zoom in, you can just see that Ross Kemp has a little tuft of hair at the top. Like he just has little specks of hair. And like I know I'm a geek. Like he's
growing it back. He's growing it back.
Like I zoomed in, but yeah, Martin might be the dead body in the Queen Vic at Christmas in 2025. But Willie, that's that. I don't know. I don't really know who the major character dies, because it is funny whenever it's like, oh, a character's gonna die, and it's like, oh, is it gonna be like? I know it's not gonna happen for at least 20 years, but it's like, is it gonna be Phil? Is it going to be Cindy? Yeah. Is it going to be Ian? Oh, it's Bobby Beale.
I can immediately poke to looking back at the 35th anniversary, where it's like, a major character's gonna die, a legacy character. It's Denny Watts. it's Sharon's dickhead son. Oh, yeah, great, fair enough. But I mean, to post some more clues, because we could still speculate on who in this picture. I've seen a lot of people talk about the potential for Nigel maybe dying. I don't really think that's the case, but perhaps dementia strikes back. It's a very not very tactless way to put that, but perhaps he mistakes something. Perhaps he causes a fire. I don't think that's likely. I think Nigel's sticking around for a little bit longer than this. Someone suggesting Junior or Anna, just one of the knights as well, which, are expendable enough that you could probably get rid of, but still not sure. I think Junior could be a little dark horse in terms of someone who could die. Do I necessarily think that's the case either? Not really, no. So then it paints, and now we can look at the lovely little trailer that I told you to pull up.
Yeah,
do you need much time?
I've pulled up. Is it the one that just says EastEnders 40th?
Yeah, it's like 4 seconds.
Yeah, I have it.
All right, let's play it. Just 3, 2, 1 it.
Oh, do you want me to take the sound off? No?
No, it's fine.
I have it pulled up, but I might have to actually take off. I might have to pull back up the small browser. So I'll just...
All right.
There we go. I have it pulled up.
Well, no, sound... All right, so you ready to go?
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so... And pause it with it all broken.
Oh, Yeah, there we go.
This is the least efficient PowerPoint presentation I've ever been involved in. Thanks, class, for listening.
There we go.
No, but look, all right. if we just frame this, the EastEnders logo in glass, and it's all in glass, and it's ready to all break. It's all splitting up. And the 40th, well, the 40th anniversary is the Ruby anniversary, right? But also, what other letter explodes first? Well, it's the letter R. Or for Americans, R. So, and you know what the R probably stands for? Reece, who in my brain is almost definitely dying in this anniversary week. If I had to guess, I think the most clear-cut way is that Reece is going to die. And, you know, we've seen some potential things. We've seen some people suggesting maybe he goes up to the roof of the Queen Vic. Maybe he gets pushed. Maybe Bianca pushes him off the roof and he falls, somewhat similar to Bradley's death in a way. The Branning curse strikes again. He's been involved in his family, but he's been trying to weasel his way out of it. But still, Reece is not a guy who's going to take any consequence for his actions. So that makes it feel like, you know, maybe Sonia has the baby, tries to take the baby, which we now know is going to be a girl, tries to take the girl and goes up to the roof, and Bianca probably pushes him off of it. But, you know, with the letter R to be the one that breaks first, that breaks the camel's back as such, we've seen that his car as well having some issues, and it seems like his car is crashed outside the Queen Vic, which could set off what has been set up for a while, that being these electrical fires, which could set the Queen Vic ablaze. So somehow the most bumbling, incompetent fool may genuinely be the downfall of the Queen Vic this anniversary. He can't go to prison at this point. He's done so much bad. He has to pay in some other way. And prison, as much as I would like it to be the case, probably is a bit too convenient. It feels like Reece has to die, and it would finally be that dopamine hit that all of us who are like, oh, Reece is fine. Reece is fine. Reece is fine. Can Reece stop existing on the show, please? Be the little catharsis that we've all needed throughout this very long-winded storyline. What do you reckon?
I was going to say you're clutching at straws here, but the 5-second trailer, mate. No one does it better than Ash. 20-second trailer, 20 minutes. 5-second trailer, 50 minutes. Whoa. Bravo.
I'm good at my job.
Bravo.
I'm not even done. There's even more. But don't you worry, I'll get to that after your thoughts.
I agree with Reece, but I personally think what happens is he crashes his car into the Queen Vic. That sets it up on fire, and Bianca and Sonia are trapped. And to redeem him at the end, he saves Bianca or some.
He's not getting redeemed.
Yeah, I know.
Reece is a coward through and through. He's not saving anyone. He's like, I wouldn't be surprised if he almost pushes Sonia and Bianca in so he can try flee.
What I would love, but I know she's too big to get back because her contract's too fat. Brenda. I'd love to see Brenda.
Oh, honestly, that would be insane.
Like, I know she can't do the 40th anniversary, but come on. Brenda and you just showing up at the end. Whoa. Oh. Especially you, that sexy man. If you don't...
The name has a H in it, but we're both two farmer folk, so the H's don't exist. You.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, you. I want you to show up.
I'll be there no matter what. That fucking basketball meme. But if we take another look at the trailer, though, what else goes ahead and smashes? It's the red ruby number. The 40th anniversary. So first, could that mean Martin? But more especially, it probably means that Ruby Allen is gonna die this 40th. In what most people dub as another triangle in a way. Well, Martin's been to and throwing between the mothers of his children, Sonia not included. And there will likely be a choice. There will likely be a choice of who Martin decides to save, because he will be involved in the fire. He will be trapped in the fire, and perhaps he has a choice of who to save. And the only real answer is Stacey. But still, maybe he does save Stacey. She's in a coma. Something like that. Goes on maternity leave anyways. Spends a lot more time out of the show than what's previously expected. Because, maternity leave isn't maternity leave fairly long? So you have to have a fairly long-winded reason for Stacey to depart. And all the flowers on Martin's stall could probably just be for Ruby. Let's be honest. And if we remember all the way back to the news article when it was announced that Ruby was going to return, she did say a prolonged stint, which is seemingly from December, November to February. But you'd have to argue she did say maybe it's time to wrap things up. And in the same way, she is still somewhat of a legacy character. Not an iconic character to say the least, but she is the daughter of Johnny Allen. Back in the mid-2000s when EastEnders was in its gangsters phase, he ran that shit. It's a fairly important character, long-running, standing. I mean, she's only been there for 4 or 5 years total, but technically she's been there for 15, 20 years now. So I think, all in all, Ruby is probably the second person who's going to die this anniversary. Because at the end of the day, they don't want to kill off too many influential characters. They've already made this error in the past. So therefore, Reece and Ruby probably going to die. What do you think about Ruby?
Yeah. My favourite thing is I still have this on the 2 cameras with the EastEnders logo. So my favourite thing is when you're ranting, it's just, I look like a sad puppy just sat here yeah. Just nodding and agreeing. I'm keeping it on the 4, the number 4 overlay. But I could see Ruby dying. It would be funny if the viewer's choice was save Stacey or Ruby. Because I know.
Ruby's not winning that one.
No. Hold on here, Ash. Hold on here. It's who do you save? And Ash is okay, Piggy, do you have $5,000? Why? I just need to borrow $5,000. Gets boys bots. We're all voting for Ruby, boys. I don't really think there'll be an interactive element with the fire because obviously, that would be too much safety precautions that you'd have to prepare for, and a lot of camera trickery, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Because to me, how I predict the fire will go is it'll happen on the Wednesday, and the aftermath will be the fire being put out on Thursday. So it is immediately put out. Do you know when you're in class and you light something and then you just immediately put it out, you're using the Bunsen burner and then you just get rid of it quickly. That's why I personally think.
You remember that some people shouldn't be trusted around fire.
Yeah, especially my granddad. Bloody nearly cost. Shame, bloody nearly cost the golf course to go up. Bloody hell. Could have been worse. You could have died in the shitter to a bulldozer. So, yeah. But Ruby dying would be it would make Ash sad, but it would be the right decision to do, because I will be there on the live episode with Ash, and it'd be funny just seeing my hero by Foo Fighters plays as Ash does the Spider-Man 1 scene where Peter Parker rips off his shirt and he has the Spider-Man suit underneath, where Ash just running into the fire. No, Ruby, no. There.
I'll save you, Ruby. I'll save you.
He runs.
Martin doesn't know you like I know you.
Sorry, it's just that.
Doesn't know you like I know you, Ruby.
Sorry, I've
locked him in the boot.
Sorry, it's just the visual I have when you run in and you take off the shirt, obviously, so you're shirtless, and you're about to run in, and then just a beam falls right on top of you immediately.
Piano out the window.
It's
oh boy, I'm gonna die now.
It's just the image.
Always goes back to Looney Tunes. Always Tom and Jerry.
It's yes. I'm sorry. It's just that image I have.
But yes, point being, all in all, I think those are some pretty big names in terms of who dies. And I do think that Ruby and Reece probably are the right decisions. Because you don't want to make the mistake of killing off the long-term characters and killing off the legacy characters still. Because then, I mean, just look at the Beals and the Fowlers, for example. They're run off their feet. There's no one left. You kill off them, the bloodline's dead. It's dead, pretty much. So, like, you know, you kill off Ruby, who still has a decent bit of legacy, had baby Roman, still now has a way to be remembered. And at the end of the day, Reece has been scuttling along like a cockroach, somehow not being able to be put out. So at the end of the day, it's about time for him to go. And I think we'll all be cheering at him. We'll all be cheering at Bianca getting free. And we'll all be cheering for Reece finally getting his comeuppance. Will he actually confess what he did, or will he still just be the same old weasel?
Find out more next week on EastEnders. See you then. Bye bye.